What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I'm here with the biggest what ifs in recent memory in the UFC. Now, these are my personal opinions. I'm not going to be bringing it up like,
unsigned 2002 Russian fighter was gonna be the next John Joe.
I'm not talking about shit like that, dude. I'm talking about recent, memorable what if scenarios that could have changed the UFC forever. Let's start off straight away. Flyweight division. What if TJ Dillashaw beat Henry Cejudo? If you remember, dude, they were supposed to fight at like UFC 233, I'm pretty sure, and it got cancelled early 2019. And if TJ Dillashaw had won that fight, I'm pretty sure everybody agreed that Dana White was going to get rid of flyweight. Like, if TJ had won that, they were going to get rid of flyweight. And that's a huge what if, because if you think about it, TJ was the favorite going into that fight. He was the more proven fighter than Henry Cejudo. And if he won, we never would have got Henry Cejudo retiring and Figueiredo getting the belt, Moreno getting the belt. The great division that we have now with Pantoja and Royval and Cup, right? Like, the UFC could be completely different right now. Some of those guys would be like midgets at bantamweight getting beat up, or just not in the UFC, which is just insane to think about. You know, a world without Figueiredo versus Moreno rivalry, or Manel Cup at flyweight talking to Kai Kara France. I just feel like that's a huge ripple effect that could have changed the UFC. And we also wouldn't have got Triple C Cejudo on YouTube. Listen, you guys. Listen, guys. Guys, seriously, guys. I think Neil Magny's gonna wrestle Mike Malott, you guys. I think he's gonna try and make the fight boring, you guys. I really do. I think they're gonna fight in Canada, you guys. So I'm glad we got the super genius Cejudo out of this fight. But, you know, what if TJ won? We may be looking at a very different world without the flyweight division. Let's move on. Bantamweight division. This is one that I kind of had to think about a bit, but I'm gonna just, you know, what if Dominic Cruz was never injured? I feel like Dominic Cruz is considered by most people to be the bantamweight GOAT. I think Aljo's the GOAT, but it is what it is. And it's kind of crazy to think about that when he's had years and years of his career missing because of injuries. There's been huge chunks of his career where he could have been fighting, could have maybe defended the belt more times or lost. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we missed out on Cruz fighting the current generation of fighters. We only got like 2 or 3 fights of him in the modern kind of, you know, UFC bantamweight division with guys that are currently still around near the top. I feel like we missed out on all of these fights that could have maybe added to his legacy or proved that maybe he's not the bantamweight GOAT. And yeah, it's just a bit disappointing because Cruz is still one of the best bantamweights ever. But like I said, there's like 2 or 3 year chunks missing out of his career where we could have got so much more as part of his legacy. So Dominic Cruz, big what if there. I feel like he could have been even bigger as a star and even better as a champion. I don't know what I just knocked over, dude. Let's go. Featherweight division. You know who it is, dude. It's fucking Zabit, bro. Oh, dude, Zabit. Sometimes I just wake up, dude. Yo, let me know what you think, guys. Sometimes I wake up, dude, and I'm just like, damn, I miss Zabit, bro. Damn, I wish Zabit could fight fucking Yair Rodriguez right now, bro. Like, this dude made featherweight so exciting, man. This guy was the guy that was next up. Before there was Hamzat, before there was Shavkat, we had Zabit. He was great at striking. He could sub fucking anybody. He was hitting banana splits and Sulyev stretches and shit. And god damn, man, I miss Zabit. I know that he retired to become a doctor. That's kind of Chad that he just was like, fuck this, I'm just gonna become a doctor. But fuck, man, I do wish we got to see him versus Max Holloway, or Zabit versus Volkanovski, even Zabit versus Brian Ortega. Like, all of these Yair Rodriguez that he was supposed to fight, all of these matchups that I feel like we were so close to getting. Like, he just beat Calvin Kattar. His next fight was definitely going to be Yair Rodriguez or Max Holloway. And we will just never know. We'll just never know how good he actually was. And I feel like this is the biggest what ifs, because we could be dealing with Zabit as champion right now. Or we could have seen Zabit get fraud checked by Max or fraud checked by Volkanovski. It would have been insane to watch. And I'm really mad that we'll never get to find out how good Zabit actually was. Keon Kimura, get on the video, bro. You know, you need to get on. Guys, Zabit Magomedsharipov is actually racist because he submitted a black guy. Like, but no, all jokes aside, he was actually really good. I wish we got to see his ceiling. Let's talk about lightweight division. All right, man. And one of the biggest what ifs, in my opinion, that came straight to my mind. What if Khabib never retired? And what if we got Khabib versus Tony? I feel like we just missed out on so much Khabib lore that we will never find out, you know? I wanted to see Khabib move up I wanted to see Khabib fight Tony Ferguson in his prime. I think he would have beat prime Tony. I always thought that. I was never like,
I don't know, dude. I think Tony Ferguson's gonna submit him.
I always thought Khabib would beat him, but I just wanted to see how he'd do it. I just wanted to see if he could actually, you know, make it look easy, or if it would be a test for him, if he would bleed at some point. And listen, dude, guys, I know I'm just gonna sound like a fanboy. I just wanted to see him versus Conor too. I really think Conor did the best again. I'm like, come on, man. Let me cope a little bit. I just wanted to see Conor versus him again, dude. I feel like Conor could have figured it out eventually, dude, but I don't know, man. Probably not. But yeah, I feel like we missed out on a lot of Khabib lore. We could have got the double champ run. We could have seen him fight Usman. That would have been insane. And I feel like we were really close to getting Khabib versus GSP as well. So that's another disappointment. All in all, Khabib accomplished a lot, but I feel like he could have accomplished more and he chose not to. I understand why. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing. I feel like we all kind of wanted to see how far he could take it. And I wouldn't have been mad at him retiring if he had done a little bit more, but I guess we'll never know, to quote the great Kanye. But no, okay, dude, I didn't mean it like that. He made graduation, dude. Come on. All right, let's move on. Welterweight division. This is a really personal pick to me. I'm sure there's better picks. I don't give a fuck. What if Nick Diaz never got suspended? Prime Nick Diaz, Strikeforce Nick Diaz. I'm taking this to the grave, bro. He would have been UFC champion. Prime Nick Diaz would have been UFC champion, dude. He was giving it to GSP. Pause. He was giving it to him like a bone to a dog. Trust. Sorry to all the people that just clicked off after that. No hard feelings. But dude, Nick Diaz, man, he's just such a sad story because I feel like he got robbed of his prime. And I just feel like he could have been such a big star. He could have won the belt. He could have done so many things, but we will never know because the commissions fucking banned him for weed, which is ridiculous. And they changed all the rules after him because they knew they fucked up, but they were too stubborn to, you know, free him, I guess, or let him come back in during his prime. And I think they also scorned him, like he didn't want to come back after that bullshit. So it's just disappointing all in all. I wish we could have seen like prime Diaz versus Woodley, Diaz versus Lawler 2 closer to their primes as well. Even like Diaz could have rematched like Carlos Condit. We could have seen him fight GSP again. Rory McDonald. We could have seen so many cool fights for Nick Diaz in his prime. And we got robbed of all of that shit, dude. So Nick Diaz, big what if. Let's move on. Middleweight division. All right, man. What if Yoel Romero started MMA sooner? What if he started in his fucking teens or his 20s, dude? I truly believe Yoel Romero would have been the GOAT, bro. The fact that this dude started in his 30s, he was fighting for the belt in his 40s and almost beat Izzy and KO'd KO'd Luke Rockhold, almost beat Robert Whittaker twice. We could have seen Yoel Romero as like a middleweight champion. If he started fighting any sooner in his life, I feel like we could have seen one of the greatest middleweight runs of all time. And we already did see a pretty good run from him. I mean, he was undefeated before he fought Whittaker and stuff, so he was really good, but imagine how much better he would have been if his entire life after the Olympics was dedicated to MMA. Like, he started just sooner with everything. I feel like we could have seen a phenom at middleweight, so bit disappointing. Maybe not the biggest what if in the video, but I think it's a personal one that I wish we got to see a prime Yoel Romero, like a younger Yoel Romero in the UFC. I feel like he could have been even better. All right. Light heavyweight division. I got two more, dude. I got light heavyweight and I got heavyweight. Obviously, heavyweight is what if UFC didn't release Parker Porter, but I'll save that for the end. Light heavyweight. What if Dominic Reyes didn't get robbed? Dude, Dominic Reyes literally beat John Jones. What would have happened if he had won that decision? I want to know. Take me to this world where Dominic Reyes got the decision against John Jones. I want to see John Jones, Dominic Reyes 2, where Reyes has beat John Jones. The world is in fucking shambles. Nobody can believe it. You know, Dominic Reyes is on this press. You know, I'm Dominic Reyes. I'm an athlete. I'm Dominic Reyes. I want to see the rematch, like, in their primes right after that fight. I feel like we would have got a completely different universe because Jones wouldn't have moved up to heavyweight straight away. Or maybe he would have. Maybe he would have just left the division on a loss and gone up to heavyweight. I don't know. He might have stayed at light heavyweight to get his belt back. What if he lost to Reyes twice? What if they had a trilogy? You know what I mean? What would have happened with Glover Teixeira and Jan Blachowicz and Yuri Prohaska? Like, it's a completely different universe. We might end up with Prohaska versus Jones. We might end up with Blachowicz versus Jones, right? So it's a completely different universe, and I'm really sad that Reyes didn't get that win because you look at his career since then, dude, it's fucked up, man. I really think he won that fight, and the trajectory of his career after losing that is just depressing as fuck to see, man. But last one, heavyweight division. What if Francis Ngannou stayed, bro? We could have got Ngannou versus Jones. I feel like Ngannou could have won that. I don't know. I remember before the start of 2023, I said Ngannou beats John Jones. We will never fucking know. I feel like this fight will never happen because Dana is so stubborn. And so is Francis Ngannou, right? But we'll never know what the outcome would have been. It could have been a completely different world where Ngannou stays champ or Jones beats Ngannou, right? Then maybe he doesn't get injured. Maybe he has a tougher fight and he just takes longer to recover and just keeps fighting normally. Maybe he just fights Aspinall straight out because there's no point fighting Stipe. Completely different world. Or Ngannou beats Jones and then we get Ngannou Aspinall or some insane shit like that. It's really hard to tell what would have happened, but I wish we got to see Ngannou versus Jones. I feel like the UFC fumbled really hard by not making that happen, but I understand that Ngannou just wanted to leave. Like, he didn't want to stay, so... these are my picks for the biggest what ifs in recent memory. Let me know your picks down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, go follow me on the gram at Bedtime MMA. I'll see you in the next video, boys. Goodbye.